It's my choice. You can dream. If you
Papilo, for the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
All right, Chidubem will join us a little later on. Of course, the rain's not doing justice to the young man. The traffic, not really nice as usual in Port Harcourt when it rains. But we kick off with the MPFL Super 6. Enyimba, yes, they face a big battle against Lobby Stars a little later on today to keep alive their title ambitions at this year's Nigeria Professional Football League Championship playoffs. Usman Abdallah, of course, the head coach of the side, he has been speaking ahead of the game today. The two sides talking about Enyimba, of course, themselves being involved would be. They've got a win and a loss to their names after 2 rounds of matches in the 6-team postseason playoffs. And the clash later today at the Agege Stadium might just be a negative or a positive one, depending on how the result pans out. But reacting to the team's 2-0 loss to Kano Pillars, that was on Friday morning, Abdallah said his side missed an opportunity to move top of the log and blamed the loss on the high miss, I tell you, from captain of the side, Ifeanyi Anemena, who missed a 61st minute penalty that would have given them the lead.
We had a lot of chances in that match, and we got a penalty, we lost, we got 2-3 clear chances, and we keep on just squandering the chances, and they took their chances. I think overall it wasn't our day, so that's football. Hopes are not lost at all because the leading team is 4 points, and they are only 1 point ahead of us. And we have 3 more matches to finish, so there's no team that have got 6 points straight. We could have got the opportunity of getting that, but we didn't. It's all the same. I think we still have a good chance of making an impact in this competition. We're still chasing.
Following that loss, which leaves Enyimba on 3 points, level with Lobby Stars and Enugu Rangers, and a point behind the duo of Kano Pillars and Akwa United. Abdallah says the People's Elephant must start to put some daylight between themselves and the rest, starting with today's match against Lobby Stars.
They are also the same situation that we are in with Rangers, and that is where it's going to be a big battle because everybody is looking for win to go on top. So we have to see how the game goes. We're going to take it serious. All the players understood the situation that we are in. So it's not going to be a big problem. The only thing is just to calm down and then keep concentration and keep focus and go back and give the same good performance.
Of course, coach of Enyimba right there. At some point, we'll be getting across to Zazi Bariza, who is right there, of course, with his side. He will be giving us updates, of course, on how they are preparing for that one. Then, meanwhile, Enugu Rangers coach Benga Ogumboche says his side broke the dominance of Lobby Stars after the 2-1 victory, which gave the Flying Antelopes a first win in 6 meetings against the Makurdi-based side.
This is a different ball game. It's a tournament that everybody is watching, and I think we saw it as a grudge game. It was a grudge game from our end. They cannot continue to dominate. That must always be the first time, and we have broken it.
Meanwhile, ahead of today's game, the coach also revealed that he's having to manage his players, many of whom are carrying various knocks, which explains why he had to substitute Ibrahim Ajani after 42 minutes in the first half of the last game.
Football is a game of contact, and like I said, we are not trying to make excuses. We have so many players down, so many. Most of the players playing are not fully fit, but we just need to play the game. And we want to manage the situation we have found ourselves. Ajani has injury, he has to manage, and we were acting on medical instructions. Ajani couldn't have played more than 30 minutes. So, and I think it was a good one. We had a good start with him, and it gave us the base of confidence. And after that, we still need another game to play.
All right, to the other side who have already kicked off their game, talking about FC Fanyuba. Their coach just before that game, was actually optimistic of their chances in the Super 6, though he, however, blamed their past losses on inexperience.
It's inexperience. You can see it from the way they are playing. Because if you watch, every player, the whole player of Fanyuba left the team. So we picked these players from nowhere, from the amateur league. I started grooming them to this stage. I know when we started the league, nobody gave this team a chance that we'll get in the Super 6. We got there, people will see. Everyone that came to watch this team today will see that we got to the Super 6 on merit. Unfortunately, our boys were not experienced enough to carry on.
He also added that Aqua United, who they played last, was lucky. They were lucky, insisting that his side still have a lot to play for in the Super 6, with not just the title, but the continental places on offer.
It was a nice match. The two teams played. I think I'm satisfied with the play of my boys, even though we lost. But they gave a good account of themselves. I won't say I lost to a better side. I can't say that they were just lucky today. That's what I would say. Because if you watch the match, from the first half, we threw away almost 5 glaring chances. 2 defeats doesn't mean anything. We'll still fight on. My team is a determined team, and I'm a determined human being. I will fight till the end.
I just had to laugh there. I couldn't hold myself. Of course, Uche Okab, we're really optimistic of chances of his side. Emeka, just before I run through the fixtures, very, very funny one. He contender, I tell you, for one of the voices of the year, I tell you, when maybe we'll get to that part of the show. But let me just run through the fixtures before I get to Emeka. Kano Pillars, the game is already ongoing against FC Fanyu, but the first half right there in that one. 1-0, Kano Pillars are leading. Lobby Stars will play Enyimba by 6 p.m. today, while Aqua United will come up against Enugu Rangers. A quick look of what the table... 5 p.m. That is... True, well, of course, Aqua United, Enugu Rangers should be by 7 p.m. Then this is what the table looks like. Kano Pillars, they've got 4 points from 2 games played. That is before this game. They have 4 points. Same points with Aqua United, just goal difference separating them. Kano Pillars have a +2 goal difference. Aqua United have a +1 goal difference. Lobby Stars, they've got 3 points, +1 goal difference, just separating them from Enugu Rangers, who also have 3 points, but with 0 in goal difference. Enyimba, they also have 3 points, but with -1 goal difference. And the whipping boys of the group, FC Fanyu, but they have 0 points and -3 goal difference. Emeka, the Super 6 kick-started earlier in the week with the performances so far by the 6 sides. What do you make of the Super 6 so far?
Well, I would say interesting, depends on which side of the divide you are. If you're a Kano Pillars fan by now, you think Pillars will eventually win this one because they are 1-0 up already against FC Fanyoba, who have lost their 2 previous games before today. And if they continue like that, talking about Kano Pillars, they might just clinch the title at the end of the day. They are yet to lose the game. They are 1-0 up. Second half of that match has just started, and they want to think Pillars have done quite well so far. But generally, I think I've been impressed with the level of competition. Apart from Ifanyoba, who are yet to record a point, the other teams have been on the mark, and no team has won 2 matches after 2 match days. It tells you it's been very competitive, and the likes of Aqua United didn't start pretty well. They played against Kano Pillars in the opening game. We are down, but somehow they were able to, show great characters to come back and draw that 1-2 They will go down again in the next game against Ifanyoba, but they still showed character, drew level, and eventually won that one to condemn Ifanyoba to back-to-back defeat. So Aqua United, doing quite well. I spoke to a lot of their players before they even left for Lagos, for the Super 6 right there. The likes of Mfonodo, Olorun Lekojo, and Juwon Oshanewa. They sounded optimistic. They believe they will win this one. Mfonodo said he's just waiting for the Super 6 to finish, win the league, and go and be with his newly married wife, as it were. So he could feel the optimism when I spoke to them earlier before they went for the Super 6. They have not disappointed so far, so good. But of course, they have a massive game later this evening against Rangers. 7 p.m. kickoff for that one. Massive encounter. Aqua United and Rangers. I think I've been impressed. I also hear the turn-up has been impressive too. The Agege fans have come out in their numbers, especially when Kano Pillars play. We talked about the fact that Kano Pillars have a large fan base in Agege, and of course they haven't disappointed. It's 200 naira for 3 matches in a day. You can't beat that. It doesn't happen anywhere. It's less than $1. To watch 3 top high-profile games, and the fans have been coming out in their numbers. Unfortunately, rain delayed one of the games, the game involving Enyimba and Kano Pillars 2 days ago. It was finished yesterday. That's force majeure. It happens. It means the stadium doesn't have perhaps a good drainage system, or maybe the rain was too heavy such that the ball could not bounce and it forced the officials to shift the game to the next day. But having said that, I think I've been impressed. So we're hoping that by the time we get to the latter stages, remember this competition we'll use it to ascertain the continental representatives for next season. The winner of the competition automatically wins the league and qualifies for the CAF Champions League. The second place team will join them in the CAF Champions League, and of course, the third place team will drop to the CAF Confederation Cup. So there's everything to play for here. We know what this continental competitions means to these clubs. Rangers and Lobby Stars were there last season. They want to go back again, and they haven't done badly too. Lobby Stars themselves haven't done badly. Yes, they lost their opening game. Did they? No. They beat Ifeanyoba and lost the second game to the Rangers. So, they still have a chance. They're playing in Yimba by 5 p.m. today. They still have a chance of, qualifying for the continent. It could be the Champions League, it could be the Confederation Cup, but all the teams there still have a mathematical chance of making it. Even if Ifeanyoba, the Whipping Boys in quote, if they win today, it doesn't look like they'll be able to do that. But if they eventually win today, win their remaining 2 matches, then you never can tell. Depending on what happened in the other matches, Ifeanyoba can still qualify for the continent. It might not be necessarily to win the Super 6, the championship, as it were, but come on, of making the continent as it were. So I think I've been impressed with what has happened so far, and we want to see more.
Okay, of course, Emeka, there's something just before we go on to the fixtures for today. There's something I've enjoyed from this Super 6 is the fact that it's a neutral venue, and I believe this is the best of football when it comes to the MPFL, at least the fact that it's on a neutral ground. And the floodlights, also a new addition that we hardly see in our MPFL matches. What can we do going forward? I think it is a fantastic addition if we can bring it down to the MPFL.
Of course, we had
regular
season, Delta Force, virtually all the home matches they played apart from the final match day, they played under floodlights. The Asaba, the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, they used that venue for their league games. Remember, they used to be. They bought the slot of Kada City. So when they eventually took over, they were playing under floodlight at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba. It's not entirely new in Nigeria Professional Football League. Rangers in 2016, when they won the league, they played virtually most of their home games under floodlight at the Cathedral in Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, and it was beautiful to behold. The fans came out in their numbers. We also saw MFM. You remember the game where MFM played against was it Rangers, where Sekiru Olatunbosu scored that wonder goal that was eventually nominated by CNN, was selected by CNN for goal of the week or so. It was under the floodlight. So we've seen that severally in the league, and it's always beautiful to see games at night. But it's not something that we are used to here in the country. And most of these stadiums too, they don't even have floodlights. The ones that have the floodlights are not functional. So at the end of the day, let's enjoy the one that we have right now. The Soccer Temple seems to be the new place for league football in the country. 2017, I was there when Akwa United beat Niger Tornadoes via penalties to win the ITO Cup. The ladies also played the championship playoffs. They called it Super Cup. Last year they are to determine the super the eventual overall. How do they call it? Charity Cup. Yeah, winners of the league versus winners of the cup, the ITO Cup. So now we have the Super 6. Now, if MFM had qualified for the Super 6, I'm sure that match wouldn't have been played. The matches wouldn't have been played there because to give them undue advantage, they would have gone for another neutral venue where all the systems involved have are not based, as it were. So I think it's a good one. So far, so good. I think the only unfortunate thing about the Super 6 or the championship playoffs, as we want to call it these days, is the fact that it's not on television. That's the only unfortunate thing about it. It's not on television, and we can talk about these goals. Talk about even earlier this afternoon, Akwa United, Kano Pillars were awarded a controversial penalty. They converted eventually. In fact, as a matter of fact, Ifeanyoba did with that Casablanca initially for 7 minutes. They walked out of the pitch that they were not going to play again because they felt it was a dubious penalty. It was not supposed to have been awarded in the first place. But come on, after pleas and pleas upon pleas, they eventually came back and played. And of course, Rabi Ali converted that one. But if you have television, some of these things will be minimized, as it were. But here we are, no television for the Super Six. We rely on what our colleagues over there in Lagos tell us, or maybe the messages of the referees as it were.
Well, I heard it would take 15 million naira to actually
produce
put one game on TV, and I was asking myself, how many millions would it be for 20 that's 38 matches as the case may be, what depending on what
38 matches is for just about 4 match days there, because a match day of if you are playing a 20 team league, a match day is 10 matches. True. Now if you are to put all 10 matches on TV toward the end to the end of the season, that's 380 matches.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't do that. We can't.
Well, I hope we get there.
We have not been able to put one on TV, live. Not to talk of going that far. When we had the luxury of Super Sports, we should have, whatever be the case, LMC and the Super Sports, they should have allowed that marriage to continue. Our league is suffering because of the absence of television. No doubt about that. And I mean, television drives football anywhere in the world, and it brings huge revenue to football. You can't underestimate that. But here we are. I mean, with all the beautiful football, with our teams play domestically, with all the competitiveness in the league, we boast about this league being the most competitive in Africa, or maybe the strongest as it were. I mean, unfortunately, we don't even see it on TV. Yes, you have to go to Lagos now to see the Super Six. So it's not supposed to be like that. Quite unfortunate, right there. But what can we do? We will get to that level where
in time. But to the games we have today, Emeka, is day 3 already. Which fixture stands out for you? Of course. Just to go through the fixtures again quickly, Akwa United will face Enugu Rangers, Lobby Stars against Enyimba, and of course the already ongoing game, Kano Pillars against FC Ifeanyi.
I think it will be the final game for today, Akwa United versus Rangers. Reason being that these two teams, they won their respective groups in the regular season. Rangers, we are runaway winners of Group A. With 2 matches to spare, they were already guaranteed of a place in the Super 6. Akwa United almost did a similar thing as well in Group B. And, for the two teams as well, look at the star cast. Akwa United is spoiled with lots of brilliant players. Exactly. These are massive players. Abarico, Da Silva, Gospawa, Niefiok. I mean, their coach, the Brazilian, comes with a little bit of Rafael Everton comes with a little bit of pedigree. Having won the IT Cup with Ifeanyi Uba in 2017. For Rangers, Ogumbote, the Oracle, we know him. We know what he can do. It's a serial winner. I mean, he won the IT Cup with Rangers.
Some people believe he should have been the under-20 coach.
Exactly. He won the IT Cup with Rangers last year, beating Kano Pillars in that great comeback in the final right there. We also saw him at Enyimba. He gave them the continental ticket that they played with last season. Enyimba played in the CAF Confederation Cup. So it was actually Ogumbote that handed them that ticket before he non-ceremoniously left for Rangers. You look at the guys there, the Godwin Agodas of this world, Bryce Silas, the one we love to call Flavor, Michael Uchebo, Tokpe Oluseyi, the Ghanaian goalkeepers. They have 2 Ghanaian goalkeepers. One Nana Bonso, and of course the other man Mutaflik. What's that his name now? I've forgotten his name, but of course there are two foreign goalkeepers. Any of them can hold sway on a good day, and it's a very solid. 2 solid sides who play good football. They play attractive football as well. And we're expecting to see fireworks in that encounter. For me, that's a star match for me. Lobby Stars Enyimba should also be interesting. Lobby Stars, without Solomon Oboide, the boys say they are playing for him. His wish was to see them win this competition and return to the continent. To tell Nigerians that the league given to them last season was no fluke. So they want to come all out. Enyimba seems to be down already. Lost that game massively to Kano Pillars 2-0, yesterday. How will they respond to that? I saw Lobby Stars here in Port Harcourt against Rivers United. That match ended a 1-1 draw. Very organized Lobby Stars side. Sikiru Alimi seems to be firing on all cylinders. Samad Kaduri, also an exciting player, and the veteran in defense, talking about the former Super Eagles man Solomon Kwambi as well, right there. So that's all to play for. But I think the star match for me is Aqua United Rangers. I don't talk about Kano Pillars FC Vanguard.
Well, bringing us now to the Kano Pillars, they are on top of the standings, having same points with Aqua United, just goal difference separating them. But from the performances so far, Emeka, can you pick your favourites? Or is it not too early? Your favourites to actually pick this title?
It's still very open. It's still very open. On the evidence of play, you want to think Pillars have done well so far, so good. If they eventually win today, they will have 7 points.
7 points.
7 points, it depends on what happened between Aqua United and Rangers. Aqua United have got 4 points. Can they beat Rangers? They can beat Rangers, but Rangers are also capable of getting all 3 points against Aqua United, because Aqua United, they haven't looked very impressive. Yes, they have a draw and a win. But look at the manner with which they played those two matches. They were almost losing against Kano Pillars. They came back. They were also trailing Ifeanyi Ubah before they drew level and eventually won that one against Ifeanyi Ubah in their second game. So I want to think Kano Pillars can eventually make it. The way they are going right now, everything seems to be going their way. The fans are behind them over there in Agege. They are also getting the results. 2-0 against Eyimba, no mean feat at all. And with a better goal difference, they might just nick this one in the end. But come on, I can't rule out Aqua United and Rangers.
Well, if I'm to go with Emeka, it means those three are your top 3 picks to qualify for the continent?
No, my top 3 to win the title. My top 3 to win the title. Somehow, I think Eyimba can still, sneak through to the continent. I don't see them winning it after going 2-0 down to Kano Pillars yesterday. I don't think Eyimba will win this one, but I still believe they will pick one of the 3 continental tickets.
Okay, we'll wait to see. I tell you, I feel it's the most exciting part of the MPFL season. It's not the regular season, yes, but it's a neutral ground. Everybody gets to play everything. You get to notice. We even heard now, of course, dubious penalty, players threatening to walk off the pitch because of what they saw.
They actually walked off
for 7 minutes, as you said.
Exactly.
It's because the fans
eventually came back and that penalty was taken and Rabiu Ali converted. But come on, most times, these things, they keep happening. Just over a week ago, or just about a week ago, we saw the show of shame in Radesh, Tunisia, when Esperance played against Wydad Casablanca. I mean, we haven't finished talking about that one. We have a fine about walking out of the pitch because they feel a dubious penalty was awarded, against them, and luckily they are back on the pitch and that match is on. But the referee should also get it right. Most times, they are the architect of their own problem, and they should get it right. You go there, just because it's not on TV doesn't mean you will go there and start messing things up right there. These teams have done well to get to where they are, so you shouldn't be, for your incompetence or your your biasness, as it were, that will rob them of the result, or maybe good football for the fans who came out in their numbers to watch.
All right, on our screens is the Women French Open final between Ashley Barty and Marketa Vondrousova. Ashley Barty has won the first set 6-1, and she's also leading the second set 3-2 in that one. Of course, the male final will be coming up tomorrow between Dominic Thiem and Rafael Nadal. But for today, Ashley Barty against Vondrousova. Ashley Barty leading right there. I'll also be giving us maybe some updates coming in from the Nations League as time goes on. But still on the Super 6, Mecca, just before I get to the phone lines to hear, I'm sure the fans of Eyimba might disagree with you. They would feel Eyimba might be able to still win this one. But let's look at FC Fanyuba. Uche Okabue says they won't give up. Is there still hope for the Whipping Boys? A lot of people rated them as the minnows of the 6 teams. Out of the 6, a lot of people felt they will be the ones to actually end up bottom, and they've not disappointed. Is there still hope for this team?
Wisdom, they are playing at the moment. They are still trailing,
and they're losing.
They're still trailing Kano Pillars by a lone goal. Whether they have hope or not, whether there's still hope or not for Ifeanyi depends on the result today. If they're able to win this match today, now come back from a goal down and eventually beat Kano Pillars, then there's the hope. But if they lose this match today, then it's all over for FC Fanyuba. Now, what it means is that they have 2 more matches against Enyimba and Rangers. Yes, Oriental Derby with Rangers, right? They haven't played Rangers. They've played Canopilas and Canopilas, Aqua United, and the first match, Lobby Stars, yes, who beat them, in the opening game. So at the end of the day, if you lose 3 matches, then you win 2 matches. That's 6 points. Now, if Canopilas win today, Canopilas would have gotten 7 points. They're already above Ifanyoba, So, the other matches today, we have teams who have 4 points already too. Aqua United have got 4 points. They play against Rangers. If they win, that's 7 points. They're already also again ahead of Ifanyo. But if Rangers wins, that's 6 points. Now you begin to look at goal difference. There's no hope for Ifanyo, but if they lose today, but they have a mathematical chance of making it to the continent, not even winning it if they get all 3 points today. So I think a lot depends on the match today, yes, against Canopilas, which they are still trolling as a matter of fact.
All right, before we get to the big one, talking about FIFA Women's World Cup.
Okay, it's now 2-0. It's now 2-0 in favor of Canopilas. No hope again. I can tell you.
It looks
Canopilas have made it 2-0. David Ebuka with his second of the tournament. David Ebuka is the one that scored for Canopilas, the second goal right there. So they lead FC Fanyoba by 2-0 right now.
Okay. The coach right there with so much optimism doesn't look like optimism can do enough. But 0817 000951 0810-951-0951. Can your team do it? That's if you're a fan of the teams in the Super 6. Good evening. Welcome to Today Sports Live.
Yes. I think the greetings from Orazi, Emeka, and Obina in the studio there.
All right. Welcome to the show, Obina.
Yes. Emeka, you know my stand on when Enyimba, I'm adopting Enyimba now in this Super 6. When Enyimba gave Usman Abdallah this job, of course, you know my stand about when I see these average coaches in a big team. I know someone will tell me that this is the season where the average coaches, some of them have been surprising us. Some are lifting trophies after 28 days. Some have won one trophy after 6 successive losing in the Champions League. I thought when these two scenarios happened, I thought Usman Abdallah can tap from that anointing. But to my greatest dismay, I don't think Usman Abdallah will be able to do it because Emeka, thank God that you're there. I don't know the criteria how Usman Abdallah get to be Enyimba coach. I don't know. This is a man that was an assistant coach in Canopilas. He came there to assist Paul Ayibogu. All of a sudden, from nowhere, Paul Ayibogu left. We cried, we shouted, we said everything. Ayan Thiago and the rest of them still went ahead to give Usman Abdallah this job. Enyimba is not a team that you would tell me they should finish anywhere. Enyimba is a continental team, for goodness sake. Enyimba, we cannot go to a tournament and we start guessing what to get. Besides, we want teams that will be able to represent us well in the continent. That was why I'm still weeping with this slot that Ifanyoba is waiting at the expense of my beloved Nade Millionaire. We need competent people like Enyimba and Canopilas. Aqua United, for me, yes, they can get it. But what is their experience when it gets to the continent? Ogunbote is no longer there. What can Aqua United do in the continent?
Right.
What can they do?
All right, Rubina, thank you so much right there for your thoughts. And we'll just go for a short commercial break. Just hold your thoughts and your calls. Once we come back, I'll be getting to take more, of course, of what you feel about the Super 6 and, of course, the teams that are involved.
The storm is over. Storm is over.
There are leaders who are sure but do not have capacity. There are few who have capacity but are not sure. There are many more yet who do not have capacity and are equally unsure. Today, I congratulate a leader with capacity who is equally sure. A leader who says he will do and matches his words with action. The people's governor. I congratulate His Excellency, the very distinguished and sure Executive Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom Ezewanwike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, and his very elegant and indefatigable Deputy Governor, Dr. Mrs. Ipalbo Harry Banigo, DSSS RS, for a successful election, swearing swearing-in ceremony and extremely impactful tenure as governor and deputy governor of my state. Yes, my state, River State, for the next 4 years of your second tenure. I am indeed very proud of what both of you, together with the People's Chairman, Bro Felix Obua, represents, particularly for the youth and children yet unborn in this region and Nigeria as a whole. I equally congratulate the most distinguished Senator Magnus Abe, Dr. Dakogo Peterside, the very suave and debonair Chief Dumolulu Briggs, and the Right Honorable Performing Minister Chibike Rotimi Amechi. Indeed, the bigger picture makes all of you winners, and as actors with the understanding that we are guided by the script of life written by nature, we must learn to surrender to the ultimate director in nature and fate. Congratulations to our governor. Congratulations to us all. This message was made possible by friends of Andy Akwative, a social reformer, nation builder, public affairs commentator, and author of the Amazon best-selling book Unveiled: How to Run a Profitable Hospital Business in Nigeria.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Here I come with my voice, here to win. It's my choice.
All right, welcome back. The show is still Today's Sports Life, reaching you from the studios of your premium news talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM, here in the lovely city of Port Harcourt. And it's still Wisdom Obina, and of course with Emeka Dena and Chidubem Njoku right here with me in the studio. And of course we're talking about the MPFL Super 6, and we have our man Zazie Bariza right there at the Agege Stadium. Zazie, welcome to the show.
Well, good afternoon, Chidubem. Good to be with you.
All right, this is Wisdom Obina. Zazie, of course, we are getting reports already of the scores that Kano Pillars are already leading 2-0 against FC Fanyuba.
Yes, it's now 2-1. FC Fanyuba pulled one back in this game, a goal that has given them the lifeline, even as we've seen a little more controversy. Kano Pillars thought for a moment, just about a few seconds ago, that they should have been given a penalty because they believed that the ball came off the arm of an FC Fanyuba player. But somehow the referee did not deem it fit. I can't really give my assessment of that because I'm at the other end of the field. The one controversy that I can report that was really controversial was the opening goal of this game, scored in first half added time. A penalty converted by Rabiu Ali, the legendary one. But the build-up to that penalty was filled with controversy. There seemed to be no contact whatsoever on the Kano Pillars player. He eventually fell, and the referee pointed to the spot immediately. And the FC technical crew ordered the players to come off the pitch, and the players stayed off the pitch for about 5 minutes before the intervention of different officials here, and the players returned to the field, and eventually the penalty was converted. So it's been a game that has been marred with controversy. The CFA have really kept cool, they passed the ball well, and the whole feeling had gone if they are eventually knocked out of this championship race by losing this game.
All right, Zazie, but of course, despite of course the controversies that have made it, even from the first penalty, you've seen the performances of the two sides. Which team has been better generally?
It's been a balanced second half, I must say. The first half, of course, FC Fanyuba seemed to have a strategy of containing Kano Pillars and hitting on the break. In the second half, it's been quite balanced. Chances have been created at both ends. Fanyuba have created very decent chances that should have put them back in this game. Just before Kano Pillars scored their second goal, Ifeanyi missed a goal that no one had any rights whatsoever missing. But that's the complexion of the game. Kano Pillars leading by 2-1, and it's quite an open game that can go any way at the end of the day.
Well, Zazie, before I come to your own team, of course, Enyimba, you've seen the Super 6 ever since it began. What has been your perception of the the level of play generally? We feel it's a neutral ground. We have expected the best of football. Of course, we've seen goals aplenty. What's your general perception of the MPFL Super 6?
I think I've been impressed, really impressed by the competition and by the tactical display of the teams. I've seen really good tactical displays, and I am speaking to you now as a sports journalist with Today FM. And I can tell you that many will begin to think that the solution to Nigerian football is neutrality of venue. Because we see teams come out to play very good football. That's home and away factor not coming into play. Everything being very expressive, and it's really been a good one. I mean, a good display of football artistry from the players, and good display of tactical decisions from the coaches. I must say, it's been quite interesting. I must say, and even the teams that have been seen as underdogs, FC Shayuba, we can see them put a good fight against Kano Pillars right now. Same thing they did against Aqua United, where they took the lead before eventually losing by 2-1. Lobby Stars are another team that have looked quite formidable. They won the first game, but lost the second. But those that were at the stadium that day for the game against Rangers International would attest that Lobby Stars at least deserved a point in that particular game. Likewise, the game between Iyimba and Kano Pillars. It's just been an interesting one, and good display of Nigerian football.
All right, Zazie, Iyimba did lose 2-0 against Kano Pillars. Of course, the first half was what we got on Thursday. We got the second half on Friday morning. Of course, interruptions right there. Okay, we seem to have lost Zazie, but... Of course, maybe we'll still try to get back to him right there. But, of course, we've heard Zazie's comments and contributions. His life there at the Agege Stadium has been able to see a good chunk of the games from the beginning. And, of course, giving us live reports, even from the game. He's seen, of course, the one involving Kano Pillars and FC Ifeanyi. But we hear some kind of controversy. You heard him there. Players had to walk off the pitch in the first half. Some controversial penalty, and later found themselves back in. But Chidubem, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Wisdom. I was listening while on my way here, and I must tell you, it's been really competitive. Talking about the MPFL championship playoffs, they call it these days. It's been really, really competitive. The teams have really come up to the billing, like Zazie rightly pointed out. It's been pure fight from the teams. Even the Ifeanyi Uba that a lot of people, even myself, I thought they are the underdogs, which actually they are. They've actually shown themselves to be formidable in this particular competition, and it's a good thing to see. But generally, I would think that the big guns will still be the big guns at the end of the day. Somehow, the traditional sides might just find a way to still nick this one and finish in the top 3 continental spots. But I think the good thing this championship playoffs has done for us is that we will be seeing the best sides from the Nigerian Professional Football League. Represents Nigeria at the continent. It's not going to be like we used to see in some time past, where a lot of fans were not really confident in the teams representing us. But this time around, you're almost sure you can beat your chest that the teams that are going to be finishing the top 3 positions from this championship playoffs are certainly going to be the best for this season, and it's a good thing.
If Kano Pillars continue to get this kind of favors, maybe officiating, going their way in this manner, then they might not turn out to be the best team, if they eventually win. I mean, we want teams to win fair and square. You heard Zazie talk about the first penalty awarded to Kano Pillars. There was no contact whatsoever, at least from the man who is on ground. Yeah, I'm not there, I didn't see, but the man who saw, and I also followed some comments on social media. The same thing, dubious penalty awarded to them. You can't continue to get favors like that and eventually want to be the best team, and you go to the continent and at the end of the day you don't get such officiating going your way, and you end up messing up the country. So if teams must win, let them win fair and square. I want the best teams to go out there and represent us. Now we have 4 teams back on the continent, 2 in the Champions League and 2 in the Confederation Cup. So we should have the best teams. I mean, not situations where teams will go out there and get beaten easily because somehow they didn't deserve to be there in the first place.
All right, the phone lines have been buzzing. 0817 000951 0810-951-0951. Good evening, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good evening.
Good evening, your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Coach Asna, calling from the city of Okreka.
Coach Asna, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I am happy, but not all that happy because we are having a soccer football fire in the western part of the country, but we are not following up. But one thing is that Iyimba he have all it takes to win the Super Six. No matter even the maker is losing, this is a club I started supporting since 1993-96, and I know what the tradition of Enyimba before Zogamo came, and we know we can do it. The only prayer I'm having is that now that if I buy 10 points, when they come to my darling team Enyimba, they always share the point for us. Not because they will not say I'm Andunobu, but I know who we are, and they start making us up to frustrate us. Now that they're sharing the point, they will always share for Enyimba because I know we are going to take 3 Super Yoruba and win the league.
All right.
Today match, anybody is going to win today match 2-1.
All right,
and they take Super Yoruba 2-0, then everything is over.
Okay.
That's my own way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach Arsenal. Good evening, welcome to today's Sports Live. Okay, we lost that one. Just before our screens, the new French Open champion now when it comes to the female category, Ashley Barty. 6-1, 6-3. She has beaten Marketa Vondrousova. Of course, it's the first time she would be winning a Grand Slam title. Good evening, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good evening, boy in the studio.
Good evening, Louis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to ask a question, please. This team that are playing this passage, they will pick or they will qualify to play this passage.
They qualify.
Okay, thank God. That means the better team on the best team qualify. That means Atlant will also did not qualify.
Heartland, yeah, they didn't qualify.
Yes. They were not able to qualify. And now, Aqua United that top the table and qualify, you don't call them underdog in a tournament like this. A big tournament like this.
Who called them underdog?
United, they are not.
Who called them underdog?
My friend, they been Nadi.
Okay.
They address Aqua United as underdog, they are not. This team finished on top of the lock, on the lock. Even on top of the Enyimba, even to compete like that. They score the highest goal in the table, both did goal in everything. And they are playing this Super Six, they have won one match and draw one, they will win to them when they top the lock.
Okay.
But the reason I don't like about this is that you are not seeing it. But what I ask is all this match playing in one venue.
Yeah, in one venue, Agege Stadium in Lagos.
That means only guys in Lagos are enjoying the matches, so.
You can also join them now. You can travel to Lagos and watch that one too.
Number one, let me just say this too. The reason you cannot have night matches in Nigeria, my brother, as a country is now, the institute in Nigeria, having night matches in Nigeria is dangerous.
Maybe night matches they play for Lagos though. 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. Maybe night match.
We also saw in Asaba in the regular season.
That one is safe. You know why? Because all the security are going to be intact in the stadium at one place at one time. You understand? So both the fans and the players are safe. I mean, regular matches in Nigerian League. Playing at night is very, very dangerous.
They don't even have the stadiums. They don't even have the floodlights.
That's the issue.
Good evening, welcome to today's Sports Live.
Hello, good evening. I'm Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Chris, welcome to the show.
Yes, please. I want to react to Mr. Obina's statement on.
Leave Obina alone.
Just make your own contribution and let Obina be, please.
I want to say that Usman Abdallah is a seasoned coach, a very strong coach, and strongly willed, and should Nigeria should praise him because he was the one that brought back the passes. We are talking of Nigeria having four
sports on the continent.
Yes, it was his exploits at the Confederation Cup
last year, exactly.
Last year. So I wouldn't like somebody who has a superstitious belief in football. Does not know superstition. Football is all about what you can do, your record. Usman Abdallah has a record of what is achieved for Nigeria. And when you look at it, we have a chairman in Anansi Agu who is one of the most one of the aristocrats in terms of African football. He is an aristocrat, an aristocrat in African football, who deemed it very fit. He is experienced to employ Usman Abdallah, and we also know what he did with Enyimba, and he will do more. Okay. With the way he expresses himself, his tactical approach and everything, he will do very, very well.
All right.
I feel that he deserves accolades and not superstitious belief. Somebody that said that Klopp is near success syndrome is worrying him.
All right.
We know Obina. Just leave Obina. I mean,
Sorry, we lost that one. If you just make your contribution, of course. We already know Bina at times. It seems like he might not be a huge fan of Usman Abdallah. According to him, an average coach. But 0817 0000951 0810 9510951. Now, before, of course, we'll be switching our attentions to the women shortly. Good evening. Welcome to today's Sports Live.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Arsenal Consultant.
Come again.
Arsenal Consultant.
Okay, Arsenal Consultant. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I want to talk about the Nigeria Super Six tournament here at JJ Stadium. First of all, I don't know. I'm looking for a word to use. NFF is supposed to let this match be on television. It is a shame. Our Super Six is playing. Nobody's hearing it. Nobody's seeing it. We are just hearing on the studio, radio station. It's not enough. And then also about the Kano Pillars and the Ifa Imbas match. We are expecting good match. We are expecting the best team to represent us in this tournament to continent, not partiality. So I believe those things the organizers should look into those things. Then they let the best team to win.
All right. Thank you so much, right there, for your thoughts. And with that, we'll just travel straight to Poland, where our girls would be coming up and they would be facing, of course, Norway in just a matter of some hours from now. We land straight in Poland, and we'll get to, of course, the Super Falcons in time. But let's kick off with the preview of the teams and the groups in the World Cup. Of course, the first part of the show, they did talk about Group B. We did Group A yesterday. Group B, they did talk about Group B, Group C, and Group D. And now I'll just be wrapping up with Group E and Group F. Excitement. Let's start with Group E. Excitement around the world is building, of course, for the 2019 Women's World Cup. Some of the game's top talents will take their talents to France to try leading their country to glory. Here's a preview, of course, of Group E, which is made up of the Netherlands, Canada, New Zealand, and Cameroon. Let's start off with Netherlands. They are nicknamed Orange. That's of course the same name the male team bears. You can call them the Lionesses, but Orange national team in English. They are ranked 8th in the world. Their best World Cup outing was the round of 16 in 2015. Now they are coached by Sarina Wiegman. The former midfielder took the reins of the Netherlands side on a permanent basis in early 2017, having established herself as one of the most influential players in the country's history during her playing days. She wasted little time in showcasing her skills, picking up the Best FIFA Women's Coach Award in 2017. Now, players to watch out for in that team, we've got Viviane Miedema. Despite being just 22 years old, she's an Arsenal striker. Miedema has long been one of the Netherlands' most dangerous players, and her tally of 57 goals in just 74 appearances should tell you everything you need to know about her. For the Rising Stars, they've got Victoria Pelova. She's 19 years of age after standing out in men's teams earlier in her career. Pelova now plies her trade with Ajax, where she continues to impress. She has flitted between the under-19 side and the seniors, but now will be hoping to cement a permanent place in Wiegman's side. Expectations for the Netherlands team. The Netherlands are yet to showcase their best at a World Cup, but fans will certainly be expecting big things this summer. After winning the 2017 European Championship and the 2018 Algarve Cup, this group is now deservedly viewed as one of the world's finest. For a team so good, it comes as a surprise that this will be just their second appearance at a World Cup, having failed to qualify for the first 6 editions of the competition. All right, to the next team in the group, we have Canada. They are nicknamed the Canucks. They are ranked 5th in the world in the latest FIFA rankings, that is. Their best World Cup finish was 4th. That was in 2003. They are coached by Kenneth Heina Moya. Yes, after being forced into an early retirement after suffering a nasty leg break, Heina Moya spent his early managerial days in Denmark before leaving to take control of Canada in January 2018. Players to watch are, of course, Christian Sinclair. There's plenty of talent to choose from in Canada's ranks, but all eyes will be on the 35-year-old legend, Christian Sinclair. She has racked up 181 goals for the national team and needs just 4 more to break Abby Van Bach's record of 184 international strikes. As their penalty taker, she just might be able to do it. For the rising star in the team, they've got Jordan Huitema, as she's 18 years of age. Again, there are many contenders here, but Paris Saint-Germain forward Huitema is the winner. She has started for youth teams and has already showcased her skills for the seniors with 6 goals in 21 outings to her name. All right, to New Zealand, they are nicknamed the All Whites. They are ranked 19th. Their best World Cup finish was the group stages in 1991, 2007, 2011 and 2015. They're coached by Tom Semani. Recruiting Semani, who is one of the most high-profile names in management, was a masterstroke for the New Zealand side. The Scot has plenty of experience to his name, having led Australia, Canada and the United States throughout his 21-year career. The player to watch in that team, of course, is Abi Esseg. While for the rising star is Mekalia Moore, who is actually 22 years of age. And we move to, of course, another team right there. This time, our own African sisters, you want to say, the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. They are ranked 46th in the world in the FIFA rankings. And of course, their best World Cup finish was round of 16 in 2015. They are coached by Alain Jomfa. Cameroon underwent a drastic change by bringing in Jomfa to replace then manager Joseph Ndoko in January. The player to watch out for in that team is Madeleine Ngonomani. Yes, she's Cameroon's leading scorer. Of course, has a lot of experience since making her debut in 2002. The rising star in that team, Alexandra Takunda, who is 18 years of age. Few players in Cameroon have generated excitement quite like that young star. And of course, I will be looking to see what she might be able to do for the side. We'll move straight to Group F. The wait is almost, of course, over. It has already begun. But, of course, Group F has a lot of teams, I tell you, even some who are tipped as favorites for the title. They have United States, Thailand, Chile, and Sweden. United States, of course, they are nicknamed the Stars and Stripes. They're ranked first in the FIFA rankings. Their best World Cup finish has been winning the title in 1991, 1999, of course, 2015. Who can forget that? They are coached by Gilles Ellis, of course, with a long-standing affiliation to the UWSNT, of course, the female league right there in the United States. Ellis will be leading her nation out at her second World Cup in charge of the side. Players to watch include Alex Morgan, the poster girl for the women's football team, while the rising star will be Mallory Poor, who is 21 years of age. And of course, we move straight to the other team in the group, Thailand. They are nicknamed the War Elephants. Of course, the War Elephants in Thai, that is in English, they are called the War Elephants. They are ranked 34th in the FIFA rankings. Their best World Cup finish has been in the group stage, and that was in 2015. They are coached by Nguyen Gruthai Sathoengin. She returned as Thailand's coach following departure of former manager Spencer Pryor following the 2017 Southeast Asian Games. The player to watch in that team is Duang Nampa Sritala, the oldest and most experienced member of the squad, I tell you. She's a defender. While for the rising star, we have Suchawadi Nilhamdrong, who is 22 years of age. She's an American-born player. Of course, a lot will be on her shoulders. While we move to the next team in that group, Chile, who are actually nicknamed La Roya, meaning the Reds in Spanish. They are ranked 39th in the world. And of course, they've never been in the World Cup. This is their first appearance. They are coached by Jose Letelier, the former professional goalkeeper of the side. Of course, she has been coaching the team since 2015. Players to watch include Mariah Jose Royas, the highest scoring player in the Chile squad, I tell you. While for Rising Stars is Javiera Grez, who's 18 years of age. And of course, we move straight to Sweden, where they are nicknamed Blaguth, which is, of course, meaning the blues and yellows. Also Kronos, meaning crown. They are ranked 9th in the FIFA rankings. And, of course, their best ever World Cup finish was second in 2003. They're coached by Peter Gerhardsen. That's their coach. Right, for players to watch in that side, of course, Hedvig Lindahl. Much has been said about strikers ahead of the summer showpiece, but Sweden boasts one of the finest goalkeepers in the tournament in Lindahl. The 36-year-old is a veteran of the game and one of 3 Chelsea players in Gerhardsen's squad. Rising star for the side is Anna Amvegrad, who is 22 years of age. Yes, Anna Amvegrad. And for the expectations of the side, of course, they were eliminated in round of 16 4 years ago. They will be hoping to go a little better. And of course, from there, we move straight to our own ladies, talking about the Super Falcons. Nigeria and Norway would face off today. Just in case you don't know who they are playing, it's Norway in today's Group A action, second match action, I tell you, of Group A. The first has already taken place with France beating South Korea right there, of course, in the first game. Norway is a country with a rich history, but one that hasn't lived up to its big name over the last several tournaments. While Nigeria has the speed and technique to compete, I tell you, but discipline isn't always there. Meanwhile, our Super Falcons forward, Aisisat Oshoala, has declared that she's not under pressure to make impact with the side at the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in France. The African champions will take on European powerhouse Norway in their first Group A game today at the Stade Auguste de Lyon, Reims. Kickoff is 8 p.m. Nigerian time. All eyes will be on the talented striker who recently penned a permanent deal with La Liga outfit Barcelona ladies as the Super Falcons attempt to make it to the knockout stages for the first time since the 1999 edition in the United States of America. For me, this is Osola speaking to FIFA.com. He said, for me, I am never under pressure because I love what I do. I love my job. I see it like I'm going to have fun on the pitch. A lot of people are expecting much from me, but for me, it's just a day-to-day thing. Go out there and play football, help the team, help my teammates get some goals if possible. 8 p.m., of course, is the time. Chidubem, what are Nigeria's chances against the Norwegian side?
I don't know if I should put them in odds now. I would say 1 to 10. But then the Norwegians are clearly the favorites going to this one, and that's because of the kind of players they've got. Number one, the pedigree they've got. Number two, and of course, their rise in recent times. I mean, they don't compare to the Super Falcons. If you look at their recent achievements, and they've got the players to execute this one. The Super Falcons are just riding on the crest of the togetherness. I mean, the preparations. They've not seen it in this fashion before. This year, or for this year's World Cup, has been very good for them. In fact, it's something they've not experienced before. The kind of preparations they've been given by the NFF. Kudos, anyways, to the NFF for, galvanizing this side. And the hopes in the camp very high. You've heard from Desire Paranos, Aisisat Oshoala, Francesca Odega. All of them are really talking tough and, waxing in confidence that they are going to do it against the Norwegians. But it's a very difficult mountain to climb, I must tell you, because even the Nigerians themselves, I'm sure they appreciate the fact that in that group, they are the underdogs. All the teams can do it against them. And even watching France do what they did to South Korea yesterday, I mean, it just sends shivers down the spines of the Super Falcons. But then the Norwegians are a lesser version of what the French team would give you. And the Super Falcons should be confident in themselves that they can do it. And like I've always said, one of the good things going for the Super Falcons at this stage is the fact that the players, some of them, are in a very rich vein of form. Aisisat Oshoala is the lead figure in that team. Yes, Desire Paranos is the captain, but the girl that comes to mind, the poster girl of the team, is definitely Aisisat Oshoala, and she is in a rich vein of form. I mean, you can't get better than that. Scoring the Champions League final, No, at least she contributed.
I feel the coach didn't give her a lot of chances. If you consider the goals she has scored coming from the bench,
8 in 11.
That's why they had to give her a permanent deal.
It's been at least. Let's see how far they can go, because they can only do their part, score the goals, and let's see if you can manage and contain the Norwegians from scoring. But for me, I think it's very difficult. Like I said, the Super Falcons will just go there, do their part, and hope probably that luck also shines on them. But if you talk of odds and who is in pole position to win this one, definitely the Norwegians are quite a notch ahead of us.
Well, Emeka, I just needed to get that one clear. The South Africans, they are up against Spain, just in front of our TV screens here in the studio. Of course, the likes of Thembi Gatlana, the reigning African Woman Player of the Year. Emeka, we've seen this side against our own Super Falcons. We did struggle to to win them in the final. Had to go on penalties. We see Desire Ellis, the woman I feel who has the Midas touch for the team. Picking players and even grooming the side. What do you make of their chances against the Spanish team?
It's going to be a very difficult game for South Africa. Spanish football has grown in leaps and bounds. We saw what the Barcelona side did, got to the final of the UEFA Women's Champions League, and of course were beaten by Lyon. A lot of those players in Barcelona are homegrown players, and they want to think they would bring that kind of form to national team as well. They are playing against South Africa. South Africa, this is their first time at the World Cup. It's going to be a baptism of fire for them. We'll wait to see. In their group, we also have two-time champions, Germany, who earlier today defeated China narrowly by a lone goal. They had to rely on the brilliance of a teenager, a 17-year-old, Gilia Guine, to secure that one goal to nothing in that group as well. So for South Africa, up against Spain right now, I think it's going to be a very tight one. Hopefully they're able to get something from this one, but it's not usually easy when you're playing against positions that are miles ahead of you in terms of their development and of course what they have invested in women football. But South African women football is also growing in leaps and bounds. We know that. They've been able to close the gap between themselves and maybe Nigeria or maybe Cameroon and Ghana. Recently, they played in the finals. In the final of the African Women Cup of Nations, we won via penalties. Remember, they also beat the Falcons in the opening game in the group stages. 1 goal to nothing. You talked about that lady, the reigning African Women Footballer of the Year, Thembi Gatlana. She is the one that scored that goal, and of course, she's also there for South Africa today. Let's see what the Bayana will do. I am thinking that this one will be maybe won by a lone goal or so by Spain eventually.
Oh, okay. That was a chance there for the Spanish side. But Emeka, let's return to our own, talking about the Super Falcons. But just before I get to hear your thoughts on the Super Falcons, let's just go for a little commercial break. Once we return, we'll be hearing the thoughts of the guys in the studio, of course, on the Super Falcons, and of course from you out there. Do you think we can beat the Norwegian side? We'll get to hear your thoughts just after this timeout.
The storm is over. Storm is over.
There are leaders who are sure but do not have capacity. There are few who have capacity but are not sure. There are many more yet who do not have capacity and are equally unsure. Today, I congratulate a leader with capacity who is equally sure. A leader who says he will do and matches his words with action. The people's governor. I congratulate His Excellency, the very distinguished and sure Executive Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, and his very elegant and indefatigable Deputy Governor, Dr. Mrs. Epalbo Banigo, DSSSRS, for a successful election, swearing-in ceremony, and extremely impactful tenure as governor and deputy governor of my state. Yes, my state, Rivers State, for the next 4 years of your second tenure. I am indeed very proud of what both of you, together with the people's chairman, Bro Felix Obua, represents, particularly for the youth and children yet unborn in this region and Nigeria as a whole. I equally congratulate the most distinguished Senator Magnus Abe, Dr. Dakogo Peterside, the very suave and debonair Chief Dumolulu Briggs, and the Right Honorable Performing Minister Chibike Rotimi Amechi. Indeed, the bigger picture makes all of you winners, and as actors with the understanding that we are guided by the script of life written by nature, we must learn to surrender to the ultimate director in nature and fate. Congratulations to our governor.